What's up, y'all? T-Bob here from Snaps, daily college football show that I hope you really enjoy. And I've been getting a lot of crap on my show lately about, choosing Alabama over Texas. You know what I didn't do, though? I didn't bet on him. You know who I did bet on? Kansas, okay? And I did it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app because when it comes on where I like to gamble, I love the DraftKings app. And it's because they got incredible offers. If you're already a DraftKings customer, well, check this out. Every single NFL game day during September, you're not going to have just one, but two new offers waiting on you when you sign in. So you'll have to sign in to see exactly what those offers are. But just remember, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, every NFL game day, all customers getting two exciting offers from DraftKings to play with. It's a ton of fun. But what if you're a new customer? Well, I've got an even better deal for you. You use the promo code T-Bob when you sign up, okay? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B. You bet $5 on any NFL game, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's right. Put $5 down on any of the games. Don't even have to win. You get $200 instantly in bonus bets. You can go play with those on college football, NFL, whatever you want. You can play with those and some of those incredible deals you get. So you see it. There's not a more fun place to get in on the action than DraftKings. And you can do all your same game parlays, multi-game parlays, whatever you want. So download the app now. Sign up with the promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B, $5 gives you $200 in bonus bets instantly. And for returning customers, remember every NFL game day, two exciting new offers from your official sports betting partner of the NFL, DraftKings. The crown is yours. Yo, what's going on, Amp? What's happening? This is Snaps, your favorite daily college football podcast. T-Bob and Aaron hanging out with you today. Got a great show planned for you today. Sorry, bro. I know I said I was ready. I was kind of not actually ready. That was not a comedic wait there at the last minute. But look, we got a great show planned for you today. We're going to discuss a little Ohio State as, there's been some interesting computer numbers that are really favoring the Buckeyes. And Aaron's dove into the film. I have merely grazed the top of said film, and we'll try to give you an opinion on exactly what it's telling us. We also have, more Buffalo talk as Colorado just continues to defy any reasonable level of expectation, not when it comes to play, because we've quickly adjusted. Oh, wait, no, they have a great quarterback. They're going to be good, et cetera, but with viewership. I mean, it just boggles the mind. And Aaron's brought a pretty insane hypothetical out that I think is worth talking about. We're going to attempt to do an anatomy on Alabama. How did it all get so bad so fast? Alex Scarborough has a beautiful piece up on ESPN.com right now. And then we'll give you our Snaps top 10. Full disclosure, I forgot about it until this moment. So we will craft that baby live here at the end of the show. Hell yeah. Damn right. Isn't that what they say? We're going to learn this week. We'll see.
You gotta learn.
What's up, Aaron? How we feeling today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Tuesday. Getting excited for the big week. We finally have legitimate games to talk about, which I think we'll do starting tomorrow.
We got to start tomorrow. We can't put it off any longer.
Tomorrow. No more.
Slate looks incredible coming into this week, and we really cannot wait for it. And remember, we will have our Wednesday show, Thursday show. We'll have a gambling show with our guy Colin Wilson from the Action Network on Friday. No Saturday show because of scheduling, but we will have a full recap of all the action, much more locked in recap this week as well. Bright and early Sunday morning on YouTube for you to enjoy your coffee with this next Sunday. So look forward to that big week coming up on Snaps. Last thing, y'all, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. We hit 5K. We cannot thank you enough. The road to 10K continues. Please, please, please share with your friends if you enjoy the show. Like it, subscribe to the channel. Like our opening comment, Ern St. Pierre 9644 says, wow, what a hater. Kick rocks. Let's go Canes, with a bunch of hearts. And then 1 hour later, boys, your show is good, but I'm not subscribing until you stop bad-mouthing the U. Okay, that's fair. Ernst, and it's Ernst.
Have we been? Are we continue to badmouth the U though? I feel like we've
could have been an old comment. We could. Okay. I mean, and maybe it got lost in me eating all that Texas barbecue crow, but I did eat some Miami crow as well. We both did that day.
The thing about takes is they live on the internet forever, so people discover them at different times. This was from about 4 hours ago.
Well, shout out Ernst Pierre. I will have you know, I don't know if Miami is all the way back, but whatever. They looked infinitely better than I thought. I thought they had murdered.
It's the year of it's the year of the hand gestures. It's the year of the hand gestures.
Like the U and like
U,
the horn.
Texas, horn, USC. Can you
LSU?
do the chop for FSU?
What does Georgia do? My pinky's.
Oh
yeah, that's right. Either way, okay. I want to say this, Ernst, to try to create a little bit of a olive branch here. How about this? I'm looking up top 10 quarterback ratings in the country, and it's pretty fascinating. So you got Caleb Williams 1, Dylan Gabriel 2, Sam Hartman 3, Michael Penix Jr. 4, Dante Moore at 5, Aaron. How about that?
Oh, wow.
Dante Moore 5th in the country right now in court. Yes. Jackson Dart checking in at 6. And then how about it?
Though?
Shit. Well, okay. Nobody's played anybody, though. That's the point. We keep saying that. We have to stop saying that until after this weekend. This is the weekend when people will finally play each other. But Dante Moore at 5, Jackson Dart at 6, Tyler Van Dyke checking in 7th in the country right now. Okay, so Ernst, we love you. Please subscribe. Go Canes. I was wrong to declare them dead forever. I'll admit that. And for Tyler, and the whole reason why is because I thought Tyler Van Dyke was dead, and it's more like Tyler Van Beck because he's.
I'm with you on that one
right now.
I will apologize as well. I put him in a grave and said that kid will never be able to compete at a high level, and I was pretty wrong. I apologize.
Fact, Tyler Van Dyke is the last quarterback, so that top 7 all rated over 200 right now. Then you get to J.J. McCarthy at 8, Caden Salter from Liberty, who I don't recognize, and then Jaden Daniels at 10. Very interesting top 10 with Dylan Gabriel 2nd, Dante Moore 5th, and Jackson Dart 6th. More on Jackson Dart when we talk a little Alabama later, though. Something else that was pretty fascinating, Aaron, and a bit of validation of our take yesterday, Bill Connolly did some updated S&P Plus rankings. And he had one tweet where basically he had, if you took the preseason rankings out of it, who would be the number 1 team in the country thus far? And admittedly, that's a bit of a, it's a bit of a like faulty premise because he goes on to say that the preseason rankings are pretty good predictive measures of how this and all the math works out. But the Washington Huskies would be number 1. And then right at the top as well, you have, I'm sorry, I can't find the picture.
I think Ohio State too, correct?
Okay,
Ohio
that's what I was looking for. That's what I was, I freaking thought I had it brought up. I apologize, dude. This is on me. Sloppy job, T-Bob. Sloppy job all around. There we go. Washington, Ohio State, UCLA at 3. We just talked about Dante Moore. Notre Dame at 4. Tell me that doesn't hype you up. So you're telling me that when it comes to exceeding expectations this very young season, we have Ohio State being second best in the country, Notre Dame 4, and then to play this weekend in South Bend. That's the good stuff, boys. You got Michigan 5, Miami 6. Shout out Ernst. Oregon 7, USC 8, Ole Miss 9, Oklahoma 10. Alabama would be 29th right now.
Woo, where's Georgia?
I don't know. It's a good question, actually. He didn't mention it. I don't think he provided those rankings. He just gave the top 10 and mentioned Alabama specifically because it's obviously fascinating that they're down at 23. Yeah. Okay. This is all a roundabout way of setting up the convo on Ohio State. The computers love Ohio State right now, Aaron.
As they should.
I want to be right, and I chose Notre Dame as a playoff team. So I'm leaning Irish this weekend, but you've been watching a lot of Ohio State film. How legitimate are the Buckeyes? Like, is it right for them to be number 1 in the ESPN FPI and Bill Connolly's S&P?
See, this is a big weekend for us because I had Ohio State as my 4th team in the playoffs this year. So you need the win to keep Notre Dame alive, and Notre Dame would still be alive at the end of the day. Like if Notre Dame can, even if they lose this game, but beat Clemson and beat USC and they're 11-1, like what do we say? Fighting Irish, you just got to win 2 of the 3. Win 2 of the 3 big ones, and there's a really good chance you're going to be in there. I think for Ohio State, there is more of a sense of urgency from this because you still got to play Penn State. You still got to face Michigan. and then you have to play in a conference championship game, which is, the least of your worries of those 3 games you're going to have to play, or 4 games you have to play this season, but still it's an extra game. I was like a lot of people, you go back and watch the Indiana game, the first game of the season, and you're like, damn, like just like Alabama, how do you go from such consistency at the quarterback position for such a long time and not have a legitimate successor in place?
Yeah.
And you worry about that. And, they kind of went back and forth, maybe Devin Brown may end up taking this job, maybe not. Is Kyle McCord an All-American? Is he an all Big Ten quarterback? No. Like, I don't even know if he's an NFL type quarterback. He's still young, and I'll give him time to continue to develop, but he's not terrible. This is far from the Alabama situation. If you want to compare 2 very similar situations, far from that. I'll tell you that. Very, very far. He is a capable quarterback with a good offensive line, a really good run game right now. Like Travion last week looked tremendous, and some of the best receivers in the country at the moment. And then you flip it over to the other side of the football. I've been really impressed with Ohio State defensively. Second year with their DC, and right now they're giving what Ohio State fans want, because for the past 2 or 3 years it's been great offense, but you can't win a championship because you don't have a great defense. Now all of a sudden you do have what I believe is a really good defense, an offense that's going to continue.
But you don't have a great offense anymore, so it's not exactly what Ohio State fans. That's not exactly what Ohio State fans wanted. They wanted to stay great on offense and get good on defense.
I think the drop from offense is like what is it? Say they were like a 45 point per game offense last year. I still think they're going to be somewhere in that 38 to 40, 42 points per game offensively, which is not terrible, but you did improve significantly on defense. So I like this team more this year than I did last year, because their team last year defensively couldn't hang. I think they can win games on that side of the football this season, which, I don't want to get too far into the weeds of breaking down the game this weekend, because we're going to do that tomorrow, but should give them more faith that they can go on the road and win.
I would say, I'd say a few things. First off, I would say that you say, this is far away from the Alabama situation. And I agree. We'll get into the Alabama situation. It's kind of disastrous, but I don't actually know how much that is saying. Also, we call Kyle McCord a young quarterback. He is a junior, but we're calling him young because he's playing for the first time, right?
Yes,
he's playing for the first time. But being a junior, playing for the first time, does that maybe, whatever, we can allow it to go either way. Here's my deal, and admittedly, I haven't watched nearly as much film on Ohio State as you have. These opinions are subject to change before we get into our game preview. I'm not overly impressed by what I saw against Indiana or the first quarter and a half of that Western Kentucky game. Now, I know they ended up winning that game 63-10, but as an Ohio State offensive line that looks massive and yet wasn't like just pushing Western Kentucky around at the beginning of that game. So, I think
you're more in the case of you don't care the defense got significantly better. You're more concerned because you don't have a first-round talent at quarterback for the first time in 6 years.
Well, yes, because I think you need both elements to win a championship. And it feels like right when you finally
Georgia didn't have that to win a championship.
I mean, Stetson had great numbers. If Kyle McCord puts up Stetson numbers, then they'll be capable of winning a championship. I don't know that I think Kyle McCord's going to put up Stetson numbers. So
pace right now, the numbers look pretty good right now. Through 3 games, 6 touchdowns, 70% completion, 815 yards.
I get it. That's all well and good, but I mean, I don't know. This is the problem. That's why we need people to play good games. It's against Youngstown State, Western Kentucky, and Indiana. Okay, so it's like I'm struggling to buy all the way in while those numbers feel overall nice. When I've watched them, I have not really seen anything that impressive. So what I'm worried about Ohio State is they've been, like you said, they've been edging a championship, but right when they're about to finish, it appears like they've maybe lost one. Like they had the offense figured out. They just needed the defense to get a little closer.
Bit too long. They played the edging game a little bit too long, and then you just lost it. Yeah.
Yes, and now instead of they just need a little more defensive in that bucket, and instead now it's like, okay, finally maybe the defense got better, but the offense has gone down by the same amount, and so they're going to stay on the edge still. We'll see. Again, Okay. So then I would ask you. You said
I would say it's more complimentary football this season.
Okay, so you said they're a quarterback away from being your hands down number one team. So
they are a quarterback away from being that, because I still believe, which is why I'm so torn about this weekend in this game, because you do need really good quarterback play to win a championship. There's no doubt about it. It is the most important position.
That's what I was just
in America.
saying.
I know, but I'm not saying I'm not saying that Kyle McCord is a first round draft pick, but I'm also not saying he's not shit either. Like the kid
I didn't say shit.
He's
making good plays. I did not say shit.
I'm not,
but he ate Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman's leading the country right now in touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, but they don't have the same kind of skill.
Is Notre Dame's defense
skill is a massive difference. No, I would take Ohio State's defense over Notre Dame's defense right now.
Okay. No. So you say they're a quarterback away from being your hands-on number one team. Is Kyle McCord that quarterback? Because if you believe he is,
for Notre Dame, I think that gets answered this weekend. Like if Ohio State goes into South Bend and wins and is productive in offense, because let's not forget they only put up 20 points last year. I think it was 20 points versus Notre Dame with similar talent. Yeah, something like that. Similar talent and the number 3 pick in the draft at quarterback. If you could go out there and score in the high 20s, low 30s, and you win the football game on the road versus Notre Dame, then all of a sudden I think those issues of do we have a quarterback that can win it goes away. This is his moment, man. Like this is his moment right here. And this is Ohio State's moment. If you can't get it done this weekend,
yeah,
the hate for Ryan Day is going to skyrocket, because they know if they can't beat Notre Dame, there's no way in how they can beat Michigan. No way.
I think I would agree with that. I mean, we always got to allow room for growth, but I think I would find it hard to believe that they would beat Michigan and win everything else they would need to if they can't beat Notre Dame. That said, at home in the shoe last year, first game of the season, but at home with CJ Stroud, Harris, all the receivers, you beat Notre Dame 21-10. And that's a Notre Dame running. Who was it? Drew Pine at the time out there. And then did he get hurt that game? And that's maybe when Buckner came in. I guess the point of that is without, and I'm going to watch the film tonight. And I'll let you know more tomorrow if I still agree with this. But it is interesting to think that, okay, so you're telling me, Aaron, that you take CJ Stroud off Ohio State, you add Sam Hartman to Notre Dame, you flip the venue from the Horseshoe to South Bend, and you're just telling me that you like Ohio State in that matchup?
It's crazy.
That's tough. It's tough.
I mean, you just go look at the stats from last year's game. And if you didn't even look at the final score and you just look like, okay, what did Ohio State do on offense in this game at home? 7 of 13 on third downs, over 50% on third downs, 395 total yards. So 400 yards of offense, 223 yards passing, 172 yards rushing, and 33 minutes of possession time. What would you think an Ohio State team scored? Like I'm with you. Like I've only watched this year's games for both teams. My next thing before we go do our breakdown tomorrow, I want to go back and rewatch that game, because you look at the numbers offensively and you're like, damn, that's a hell of a game for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like CJ Stroud was 24 of 34 for 223 and 2 touchdowns. They just didn't score. I don't know. We'll let you know tomorrow the full breakdown, but
it seems like scheme and Marcus Freeman to me. But the overall takeaway for you should be today, if you're listening to the show right now, Aaron thinks Ohio State has all the elements to be the number one team in the country if Kyle McCord is that guy. So like when you enter watching the game this week and understand that's the context.
But once again, like not that guy in the sense of like, I don't need him to be a Heisman Trophy contender. Like, I think that's what people are getting like, oh, well, of course he's not that guy. So that's a stupid comment. Like that guy in the sense of, can you just be Stetson Bennett good, which is a good college quarterback, not a first round draft pick, just an efficient college quarterback that can get me 24 of 30 for 200 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Just do that.
But then isn't that a waste of Ohio State's best advantages? I mean, then what? The receivers just don't catch balls?
Not if Henderson's running the way he's running.
Okay.
Not the defense is playing the way they're playing.
We're getting bogged down.
College football has gotten way too crazy with this. We have to score 40 points to begin 40, 50 points to be considered an elite football team. It has gotten out of control. And I do think defenses have caught up a little bit this year. If you look across the country, look at some of the numbers and some of these teams. I mean, Michigan's scoring 30 points a game right now, and we're not bothered about that, are we?
No, Michigan's weird because contextually, JJ McCarthy's looked pretty good, although it hasn't been like you said, there's not like overwhelming point totals. They have the benefit of the doubt from whooping Ohio State's ass 2 years in a row. They return everybody. No, but you're not wrong. Michigan is kind of sleepwalking in the same way that like a Georgia is sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Like both of them kind of need to maybe start to look a little more impressive. For Ohio State, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn this weekend, and I cannot wait. One team that we seem to continuously learn about every single week is Colorado. And look at this. Another Tuesday when the sports ratings comes in and just more mind-shattering Colorado Buffalo viewership numbers. 9.3 million viewers watch Colorado State. And before we get into this, if you're listening and you're like, well, yeah, it was the only game on TV and it was, Colorado State had the big lead. And so they saw the people saw the score on the phone. They turned on the game. Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. But guess what? There's been a ton of close, good games in the 9:30 slot on ESPN, yet none has even sniffed this number. It shattered the previous late game record. It is the 5th most watched college football game ever on ESPN. Full stop. Pac-12 versus Mountain West. 1-11 versus what was Colorado State last year? Weren't they 2-10?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines? 2 awful programs. And just because Prime shows up, it becomes ESPN's most streamed regular season game of all time. And this truly boggles the mind to me. To me, this is even more impressive than the big noon kickoff of Nebraska and Colorado beating Texas, Alabama, because Nebraska is also a massive fan base that comes with a lot of built-in viewers. Big noon kickoff is a massive stage and a lot of college football fans like to kick their day off with. As many pointed out at the time, Fox is a cable channel that everybody has, whereas ESPN, you have to pay for it. Basic cable, I should say. And so for this to be on ESPN at 9:30, again, Pac-12 versus Mountain West, Colorado versus Colorado State to do 9.3 million. This is why everybody salivates and why TV executives especially salivate over Deion Sanders.
Yeah. I'm surprised they moved the college game day. I mean, why would you not be Colorado at Oregon in Eugene, an incredible environment, 2 great football teams, and TBD on the great Colorado, 2 really good football.
I think game day's in South Bend, but if we did hear that they're flying Herb Street and Fowler to call LSU Arkansas instead of Colorado Oregon.
Which I think that, to me, I think both have a chance to be blowouts. I would say LSU is more legitimate opportunity to blow the doors off Arkansas. I don't know why you wouldn't just ride the train, man. They're putting up stupid numbers. If I'm ESPN, I'm just going to follow Prime until they die.
Yeah.
Until they lose, you're going to follow them wherever they go.
Well, and so, okay, that's the question. Do they die this weekend? I mean, the interest won't die, but I'm not expecting them to beat Oregon. I still don't expect them to beat USC. I still don't expect them to beat Washington. The tier of Oregon State, Utah, UCLA, even now, like we talked about, is getting frisky. That I'm not so sure on, but Oregon should just straight up be better, even though Dan Lanning made it personal at Pac-12 Media Day this summer. Now, he made it personal before we knew what making it personal meant, but he made it personal when he basically said, what has Colorado ever done for this conference?
And I'll tell you this, I love Bo Nix. I love Oregon. I love their offense. But I watched their defense and they're good, and Dan Lanning's your DC, but they haven't been anything special this year. They haven't. I mean, it's I look at their DBs, and at times there's guys getting turned around, getting spun around, and you look at what Colorado does well. They have a quarterback that is very decisive with the football, very accurate with the football. They have really good talent at the receiving position. The question obviously is going to be continuing to be for Oregon or for Colorado when you face a team like Oregon or USC or Oregon State. Can you win in the trenches? And I don't necessarily need you to win. Can you just hold up enough to give Shedeur 3 seconds to throw the football?
Yeah, Shedeur will manipulate the situation to.
I think Shedeur, once again, like, it comes down to, like, if you have an elite quarterback, you always have a chance. And he's got to get rid of it a little bit sooner. He's taking way too many hits, and part of it's the offensive line, part of it's on him. But when you have the great equalizer, which is a top 10 NFL quarterback with, I would say, pretty exceptional receiving play, even without Travis Hunter out there, you have a chance to make the game a lot closer than that 21-point spread.
Yeah, but that without Travis Hunter out there is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I think it's more of a problem on the defense than it is the offense.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, they still got Xavier.
defense.
They still got. Oh wait, Xavier, is that the Texas receiver? Am I getting my wires crossed here?
You are.
No, they Weaver. Sorry, Weaver, right? Like they still have good receivers. So
Jimmy Horn Jr., they got Weaver, Dalen Edwards out of the backfield's been great.
They can still
get great skill. It's defense.
Oregon in that way, but you're losing a guy, and Bo Nix sometimes has a propensity to throw picks. Like, I don't think it's hard to have seen Travis Hunter getting one off of Bo Nix, shutting down an entire side of the field. That's where that really hurts. Like, not only do you lose another great skill weapon, so it is like losing two players, not just one, but you lose a guy at, I mean, again, we always talk about
you lose your most athletic guy on both sides of the football.
Well, who do they pay in the NFL? You pay quarterbacks, and you pay people who affect or protect the quarterbacks. Okay, it's your left tackles, that's your defensive end pass rush, and that's your cornerbacks. And so when you're trying to shut down an elite quarterback like Bo Nix, Travis Hunter would have been massive. So to me, Hunter basically gives Colorado no chance here.
You know who's loving this and should love this opportunity right now, and the fact that they're 3-0 is Bo Nix. Because you know how I feel about Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is an incredibly talented quarterback. He's had a great season so far. You know, is kind of under the radar in the Pac-12 now, because obviously there's a lot of love for Caleb. There's a lot of love for Michael Penix. And now there's a lot of talk about Shedeur Sanders. And even DJU's getting a ton of love for what he's doing at Oregon State. Like, no one is talking about Bo Nix right now because it's Oregon and they're just kind of flying under the radar. Like, this is his moment.
Yeah.
And he's more than capable of doing it, to go out there and throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns, have a rushing touchdown, have over 400 total yards combined between the two of them, and just skyrocket himself into the conversation of a legit Heisman finalist.
Now,
which he's going to do. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, Bo Nix is not going to have 4 or 5 touchdowns in this football game and put up crazy stats. This is their offense is one of the best offenses in the country right now. And you're going against a defense that just...
Does the 38-30 battle in Lubbock, Texas bother you at all? I mean, Lubbock's a weird place to have to play that game. Texas Tech was
thirsty
for some sort of revenge. Like, maybe that cracks the door open for Colorado, but if Oregon's as good as we think they are, and if Dan Lanning's everything he's really cracked up to be, like we've talked him up to be, Oregon's got to handle the business. Business this week.
It's at home. It's at home.
Yeah. That's true. It's in Eugene. Aaron, how about this? You brought up a fascinating hypothetical before the show. If the Auburn Tigers had hired Deion Sanders, would they be the best team in the SEC West? Yes. Think about it. If Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter were on the Auburn Tiger team, and then whatever else talent he could have added to that roster, how good would they be?
I mean, let's just pull up the transfer portal right now of who would have gone besides just those two that are making plays right now for Colorado. I mean, it was.
I don't know if you wouldn't have needed, but you wouldn't have needed that many though, because Auburn.
No, you would have. But the one thing that Hugh has done extremely well is I would say about half that roster, for at least starters at Auburn, are guys that he got in the transfer portal.
That's true.
So like he did have to go in the portal and get a bunch of guys, and they did a pretty good job in the portal as well. But even like Shiloh on defense as well, throwing him in there. Yeah. Like I would say right now, with how bad the SEC West is, like, just think about this. If you're an Auburn fan, if you would have gotten Deion in year one, you would get Georgia at home, who right now looks vulnerable. You get Alabama at home. You'd have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You'd have one of the best defensive players in the country. You would have a legitimate chance to win the SEC in year one at a place like Auburn, who has the resources, who has the NIL. At that point, like they're rolling at that point, man. Like recruiting would go through the roof there. It would be dangerous.
And I was going to say, I was going to make a joke about, well, Deion wanted to baptize hundreds of Auburn students, but Deion actually may have. Deion is absolutely a very public, firm man of God, pastor. So maybe he would have as well.
So Auburn was 5th according to 24/7 Sports in the transfer portal. Colorado, obviously crazy numbers. They had 51 commits. Auburn had 20. So and listen, I think you and I both agree. Like Hugh is perfect for Auburn. He's great.
Perfect.
But it's just funny. It's perfect. But it's just funny to think of like where the SEC West is right now, and you look at Auburn, and if they would have gotten Deion and what would have come along with Deion, they would have been right there with LSU as a legitimate contender to win the SEC West this year.
It's an interesting point, man. Would you let Hugh Freeze baptize you?
No.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Maybe because like I've done some.
Tell people you got baptized.
I haven't done
Hugh Freeze.
I haven't done the extreme of what he's done in his life, but I've done some bad things, so I can't hate a man for.
Oh, I'm not even.
No.
To be clear, I'm not coming to Hugh from any his.
And right, Brumley, I'm half Jew. I'm a cash Jew, so
he's a cash.
So like half my body can still be baptized. I'm like Achilles. You can only dip part of me into the water. The other part can't go in the water.
Do you understand how baptism works?
No,
I'm kidding.
No.
You're literally that is literally the whole point of baptism is you are submerged. You can't just do your half.
No.
I mean, I'm like Achilles. Like part of my body doesn't go in. That's the weak part.
That's not what baptizing is.
Yeah, it kind of is though. It's like Achilles. He's told you twice now, so you got to pay attention, bro. You got to keep up, dude. Come on,
like Achilles.
When Aaron
imagine if Achilles fully went into the water, he would have not have gotten shot in the Achilles and died.
At the risk of potentially offending some people, what are the beliefs on the Jewish afterlife? Like,
oh God, I don't know.
Aaron, what the hell? You're half Jewish.
Yeah, but I went to Catholic school.
So what I'm saying is, though, because you're half Jewish, you just go straight to purgatory when you die. How's that work?
I think so. I think the Jews are still waiting for their Jesus to essentially end purgatory.
Geez, so half your body's in purgatory, half makes it into heaven. Bro, if I make it into heaven, big if, fingers crossed, please. But if I make it in, I'm taking your Jewish half in with me, dude. I'll smuggle you in.
Thank you.
I will smuggle you in, bro. I'll get you in there. Don't worry. We get in the club. So Colorado, look, they shattering numbers. Again, I think they lose this weekend. We'll see. I'm still not sure I'm going to play it gambling wise. Computers hate Colorado, by the way. Don't think it's sustainable at all what they are doing. Speaking of being non-sustainable and bad right now, Alex Scarborough has a really good piece on ESPN.com. How did it get so bad so fast for Alabama? And I'll read you the first paragraph to set the tone here. Alabama receivers aren't creating enough separation. The offensive line is allowing too much pressure in the backfield. Getting a snap from center has turned into an adventure rather than a formality. The running game is inconsistent at best. Players across the board are committing too many penalties, and the offense as a whole doesn't appear to have a sense of identity or direction. Now Alabama finds itself outside the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time in 8 years, with the Crimson Tide absent from the playoff conversation. Hope seems a long way off. Whether that remains true for the rest of the season is anyone's guess. And Aaron, you know what I always talk about? A fan base's attitude is always a function of expectation. I don't know that I have ever seen a bigger two things: an unprecedented run of good at quarterbacks and to such a stark drop off. And if you know an Alabama fan and they're furious and they're angry, well, it's not hard to see why, because these motherfuckers went from Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young to now Simpson, Milroe, and Buckner. Again, guys, Jalen Hurts is a top 5 paid quarterback in the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa is playing like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Mac Jones starts. Bryce Young starts. Like, what's even crazier is what these quarterbacks went on to do in the league. And now you don't even have one guy that you believe in. You're flip-flopping quarterbacks 3 weeks in a season. That is a stunning drop-off.
Well, and I think the offensive line too is a stunning thing as well. Like, I will defend my quarterbacks here, but when Alabama was in their heyday and just kicking everyone's ass, why? Because their offensive line was significantly better than everyone else. And same with the defense. And you look at that this year, and the offensive line for 3 straight years now has been average. They don't intimidate anyone. Like the Alabama big, rugged, physical football team that's just going to whoop your ass up and down the field does not exist right now. They don't scare people. People are not feeling like they're going to go into Tuscaloosa or wherever their home stadiums and get bullied by the Crimson Tide. So, I blame the quarterback position. It is a significant drop, but that bar was incredibly high. But this offensive line is nowhere near where it's been for the decade of dominance in which Alabama football really made its mark. So it's and then the receivers too. Like every position is a shell of what they were. I mean, for receivers from Julio down the line,
true,
for a decade, how many first rounders? Shit, you had a fucking receiver win a Heisman. Yeah. You had a receiver win a Heisman Trophy.
Crazy.
You don't have a first rounder, second rounder, third rounder on that roster right now. It's the entire offense.
I mean, last week against South Florida, 17 points, combined 18.5 QBR, 5 sacks, to your point, 13 incompletions. So, okay, so then Alex tries to go into, okay, how did we get here, right? I didn't know this. Drake May was committed to Alabama, but later decommitted, goes to UNC. Remember, they tried to get Drake May out the transfer portal. May said, no, I'm not leaving. I'm good where I'm at. They missed out on Sam Hartman. They wanted to see how spring would play out. Okay, Sam Hartman goes to Notre Dame. All the other big dogs, and I'll maybe give Alabama a bit of grace here, Aaron. We always say, why don't you just go find a quarterback? Outside of Hartman, there weren't a lot of great options. Like all the big dogs basically stayed put. Like Brennan Armstrong, Devin
wasn't
Leary.
A guy, though.
Yeah, but Devin Leary, Spencer Sanders, Walker Howard. Like, do any of these names actually feel any better than Buckner?
Yes.
I mean, Sanders.
Yes.
Okay. Slightly better.
Are you kidding me?
I thought Devin Leary played well. Like I thought. No,
yeah, but better than what anyone.
Better than Jalen Milroe, though. Better than Jalen Milroe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you missed out. I still think those names sound exciting, but you missed out on them. Then you look who recruited Milroe. Sark did. He's gone. Bill O'Brien coaches him for 3 seasons. He's gone. And now you know about this guy, Alex Mortensen.
Yeah.
Who Kirby this week, because I guess are they getting ready to play UAB? Georgia? I mean, that sounds right for Georgia, right? Oh my God, you don't even know. It's the fucking point of everything. We're always get the fuck out of here, Aaron. You pissed me off, Georgia. Oh my God.
They do play UAB this week.
Okay, so Kirby was saying he called him the kind of analyst behind the scenes quarterback guru that's been involved in all these great Alabama offices. He was in Tuscaloosa for 9 years. He just left for UAB. And then I was kind of shocked to read this. Tommy Rees is doing less RPO than the Tide were doing with Mac Jones in 2020 with Jalen Milroe as their quarterback. What? Like that just speaks to maybe. So maybe you have a situation where you missed out on the elite talent. You missed out on the transfers. All the good minds have left. You replace him with Tommy Rees' supposed wunderkind that isn't that guy. And all of a sudden, and then Aaron, like, you don't have the weapons, you don't have the offensive line, and that's why it's so bad, man. It's kind of a depressing autopsy if you're a Tide fan.
There's nothing that you can hold your head on right now and say we are one of the best units at this in the country. Not anywhere, or not even in like top 10, top 15. Not one position group on that football team.
No.
Like I think the defense, I mean, we talk about this defense being incredible. Like I think they're good. I mean, they're probably going to be top half of the SEC, but the SEC sucks. The offenses in the SEC suck this year. So like, that's nothing to like really write home about right now. It just, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. You take the A off the uniform and you take the numbers off that helmet. You watch the game in black and white. That looks like a 7-5 football team.
God, 7-5. Hold on, you keep moving the numbers. 7-5. We're to 7-5 now.
8-4
with Jalen Milroe. That is at least an 8-4 team. Like at least. I'm still probably leaning 9-3. So how much trouble are they in against Ole Miss? Because they're still 7-point favorites at home in T-Town. Lane's obviously.
Are we breaking down games? Or are we saving it for tomorrow? Jeez.
Just give me a little fucking teaser, Aaron. Dip your fucking toe in the water. Jackson Dart's, like I said, he's one of 7 quarterbacks in the country over 200 quarterback rating. Jackson Dart's averaging 12.5 yards per attempt.
Yeah, well, he's also the main runner right now for Ole Miss because Judkins has been banged up the entire year. Yeah. I thought the crazy stat I saw today from Ole Miss is you look at Juckins this season, and he's what is he? 3.3 yards per carry right now.
Yeah, 3.3
yards per. First game was 4.6. Last two games versus Tulane and Georgia Tech, 2.7, 2.8 yards per carry.
Dude, and Tulane's very good, but Ole Miss looked a little sus against Tulane, especially with
they look sus for Georgia Tech
having
too.
Their backup quarterback.
And they look sus for Georgia Tech. And this defense is I like the schematics of it look better, but the defense has not been great to start the season.
So, but here I'm going to have to call you out for being at war with yourself, because there's no way you're going to sit here and call Alabama a 7-5 team, but they beat Ole Miss. Can't happen. You can't have it both ways.
Yes, you can. There's plenty of other games to lose on the schedule.
No, there's not.
There really
not compared to Ole
honestly.
Miss. Exactly.
God, the SEC sucks.
Because the SEC
sucks. Alabama got so lucky. In normal years, that was not a year, but it's SEC so bad this season. I don't think Ole Miss is as good as we're thinking they're going to be. I think without the explosiveness from Juckins, I don't know how healthy he is right now. Obviously, he's not been healthy at all this season. And I think their defense is a little soft.
Yep.
I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Okay.
We'll get into more details.
We'll get into tomorrow. All right. So now it's time for a Snaps Tuesday Top 10. That's right, baby. I'm guessing, Aaron, we're just going to keep it chalk off the top here. Are we staying with Georgia, Michigan 1-2? I'm not letting you bump Michigan down, because them and Georgia have the exact same reasoning. Okay. Both haven't played shit. Both came in thinking they're the best. We'll just keep them there until they prove us wrong.
Okay.
I think we should bump. Fuck no. I think we should bump Washington all the way up to 3.
Who have they been?
Who
have they been? Michigan State, really? Because they beat Michigan State, you're going to rank that above Texas beating Alabama and Florida State beating LSU?
Okay, hoisted on my own petard here, because I might have been a little aggressive in my fuck no. Yeah, I guess Texas, Florida State actually sounds good. I would do this. I would still, and I know, look, both struggled last week with lesser opponents. I would go Florida State over Texas.
No.
Yep.
No.
More complete football team.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Texas.
How
Texas.
can we solve this? I'm trying to think.
Picked Texas last week, and nothing has changed from last week to this week.
Okay,
both played down to their competition, so let's not change it up.
A fair argument. Okay, Washington 5, though, without a doubt.
Okay, I go Washington 5. I agree.
Absolutely.
I like Washington.
They're smashing everybody. Penix Jr. is incredible.
Ohio State 6? Or no, I mean USC 6. Sorry, USC 6.
Well, I'm between USC and Notre Dame.
USC's been more impressive with how dominant they've been on offense. I think that is more of a recipe.
But does USC have a win as nice as the NC State win?
Is NC State really that nice of a win?
I mean, in the steaming pile of shit that college football has served us up over the first 3 weeks, yeah, it's like, it's at least solid. It doesn't smell as bad. It's not a bunch of corn kernels everywhere.
All right, since you gave in to Texas, Florida State, I'll give you that one.
Okay, so we got so Washington 5, Notre Dame 6, USC 7.
Yes.
And then Ohio State 8. You're putting them back in your top 10. You remember you dropped them.
I like Oregon at 8. I like Oregon at 8. Honestly, like, I know this sounds crazy. I think LSU's a top 10 team, but we'll probably put them around 10. I'll put Oregon at 8.
Why? I mean, after the Texas Tech game, dude. I mean, I know maybe they haven't played anybody as good, but like Penn State hasn't been scared at all.
Penn State, I watched them this weekend versus Illinois. It's a good defense, but man, I Drew Alar is still very green, and they do not have elite playmakers on the outside. I was big time disappointed in that football game. Big time. And I know it's
okay. I can get by Oregon. I can get by Oregon 8 because they have the elite quarterback.
Yes.
And I'm not there with Aller, and I'm not there with Kyle McCord. Nope. So we'll go Oregon 8, and then I'm guessing we're doing Penn State, Ohio State to round out, though. I mean, I kind of feel you on LSU, but I don't want.
I mean, who would win a game right now if you put LSU versus Penn State or LSU versus Ohio State? LSU would beat their asses.
You think beat their asses, man? I don't know if I can get there yet. I was looked really good against Mississippi State. I don't know if I can follow you quite there yet. I can't do it yet. I can't do it yet. I can't get accused of being too much of a homer here.
All right, Ohio State 9, Penn State 10.
Never mind. Brum says do it, and he's a producer. So pick one to be in the top 10 out of Ohio State and Penn State, and then we'll choose LSU at 10.
Ohio State 9, LSU 10.
Okay, there you go. That is your Snaps top 10. So let me see if I can do this in reverse order. Oh God, I don't think I can. I didn't write it down. LSU 10, Ohio State 9, Oregon 8, USC 7, Notre Dame 6, Washington 5, Florida State 4, Texas 3, Michigan 2, Georgia 1. So we're on. Okay, there we go. There we go. So Snaps top 10. We have the same top 4 as the AP. We're cowards. Should rank Washington 1. Penix power, baby. So there it is, your Tuesday Snaps top 10. Hey, look, huge thank you to everyone for joining us today. We love this show. So much fun every single day hanging out with y'all. Massive thank you to Pat Gunther, Ryan Brumley, Danny Cardenas, Chris Tran, Christian Hunter, Adam Gracia. Thank you to everybody who likes, subscribes, shares it with their friend. The road to 10K continues, my friends. Please help push the show, share the show. And tomorrow and the next day, we are really going to start to dive in to this incredible weekend of games that we are finally being blessed with as we gonna learn. I mean, we're gonna have 3 ranked unranked games going on at the same time.
I know.
I don't even know. It's one of those great weekends where normally I have like the best marquee game on the big screen, and then I got 4 in the other screen. This week, I have to choose like, okay, which marquee game is the closest? And so I'll be like adjusting, like they'll be diving who gets the big screen, small screen. I can't wait.
I'm just happy you taught me how to watch multiple games on my computer at once with the Hulu different.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, Brum? You know what I taught him? I taught him you can just open up like multiple windows on your internet browser. You know?
Wow. Glad you were in this.
I didn't know Hulu would like. I didn't know if like there was something in the Hulu that like it would like sign me out of my account. Like you can't log into 4 accounts at one time.
That's actually fair. That's actually fair. But like if you're doing that,
if only there was a simple way to try it.
If you're doing that in your Hulu, it is one of those things where like, well, why the fuck am I paying you then? Like you need to be able to do things that traditional cable can't do. And opening up 17 windows is one of them. So cannot wait for this weekend. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Snaps.